All right, so I just want to go through here on a few of these and help you get these set up. So on number 1, it says find the value of x if p is between j and k. So what we're going to do is just draw a line here. Okay, j and k go on the end. Then p is somewhere between them. Okay, so it says jp is 2x, that pk is 7x, and that the whole thing jk is 27. Good, yes. You just take the two smaller pieces to add up to equal the whole thing. So it's just going to be 2x plus 7x equals 27. And you'll solve from there. I'm going to let you solve that one. Okay, number 2 is the exact same way. It's just different stuff there, different numbers. Okay, number 3 says find the distance between it. So we just need to label these real quick. We have x1, y1, and x2, y2. All right, so let's plug that in here. So what's the x2 value? 5 minus what's the x1 value? Negative 4. Plus, what's the y2 value? 2 minus what's the y1 value? All right, we got to remember to do the square root of that whole thing. And again, I'm going to let you plug that in and see what that is. Okay, the next one is asking for midpoint. So we just labeled the same way, x1, y1, x2, y2. On this one, you add the x's, so it's going to be negative 4 plus 5 divided by 2. And then 5 plus 2 divided by 2. And that's not like just one single number. It's an ordered pair. So you'll do the first part for your x value, the second part for your y value. Okay, dropping down to number 8. So on this one it says if SV bisects TSU. So let's draw an angle here real quick. So we've got angle TSU. And it says that SV bisects that angle. Okay, what does bisect mean? Okay, it means to cut exactly in half. Okay, bisect means to cut it exactly in half. It makes 2 equal pieces. So back over here, it tells us right here that TSV is 4x plus 2, and that USV is 2x plus 10. And again, if that angle is split exactly in half, what do I know about those 2 angles right there? They've got to be congruent to each other. So 4x plus 2 equals 2x plus 10. And then you'll solve that, plug it back in, and find what that angle is. Okay, next one says write the converse. What do we do in the converse? Remember, we have converse, inverse, and contrapositive. So in the converse, this is the one where you switch the hypothesis and conclusion. The inverse is when you make it say not. All right, what does supplementary mean? It means they add up to equal 180 degrees. Okay. Number 11, pair of vertical angles would be like this angle right here and this angle right here. So you'll just need to name those. What do you always know about vertical angles? They're always congruent. Pretty good start on that. So like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you work on this now for a little while. As you're working on it, I'll call you up here and let you know if you are exempt or not, and just talk to them about your grades also. Okay? So on this first one, to finish this up. So 2x plus 7x gives you 9x equals 27. Divide by 9, x equals 3. Okay, on the next one, like I said, it's the same thing. It's just different numbers. So it's 3x plus 1 plus 12x minus 4 equals 75. And then when you combine everything, you get 15x minus 3 equals 75. Then you add 3, so 15x equals 78. Divide by 15, and I think it gives you like 5.2. Okay, on this one, when you type that in, what do you get? 9.49. Okay, on this one, it's the midpoint, so it's like an ordered pair. So it gives you 1/2, comma 7/2. That's the answer. If you wrote it as 0.5, comma 3.5, same thing. That's it. Okay, number 5. What's the intersection of line A and C? Where do line A and C meet up? At point P. They meet up right here. Okay, give another name for line B.
Line T.
Okay, so remember, when you're naming a line, how many points do you use?
2.
Use 2 points. So you can choose any 2 points on that line that you want. SX, ST, XT, any of those would be good. Okay? All right, number 7. So how am I going to find the value of x? How am I going to set this up?
3x plus 17 equals 29.
Okay, so 10 plus 3x plus 7 equals 29. Just like 1 and 2, really. The two smaller pieces add up to equal the whole. So you get 3x plus 17 when you combine like terms equals 29. Subtract 17. 3x equals 12. And when you divide by 3, x should equal 4.
Don't we gotta find the length of YZ?
Oh, yeah. And then how long is YZ?
I don't know. 19.
Just 19. Which really you could have found that before you found the x, but. Okay, on this one, so to solve for x, we're going to take 2x from both sides. That cancels that out. So you have 2x plus 2 equals 10. Take away 2. 2x equals 8, which means x equals 4. Now, this up here says find angle TSU, so we got to plug it back in. So if I plug in 4 right here, what's 4 times 4?
16.
Oh.
And 16 plus 2? 18. Then if I take 4 and plug it in here, what's 2 times 4?
8.
And 8 plus 10?
18.
So 18. And so the question is, how big is that whole angle? It's 18 and 18 together. So 36 total degrees. Okay, number 9, write the converse. So again, in converse we switch it. So what's this going to say? Good. If an angle measures 90 degrees, then it is a right angle.
So this is going to be on our semester test or something like that?
Yes. And of course on your semester test it's all multiple choice, so that helps. Okay, next one. Name a pair of supplementary angles. So this is 2 angles that add up to 180. So you can name off several. I'm just going to give you this one. So NQP, all right, and angle KQP. NQP and KQP. That's this angle and this angle. Together, those make 180 degrees. Okay, name a pair of vertical angles. So I already drew that for you. So it would be like angle NQP and angle LQK. Okay, number 12 says if angle LQM is 5x plus 20. Well, LQM is this one right here. What does this little box mean? It means 90 degrees. So you know that's got to be equal to 90, so we're just going to put 5x plus 20 equal to 90. Subtract 20, 5x equals 70, divide by 5, and x should equal 14 here. Okay, on this one, NQP and LQK, those are vertical angles. Okay, so what do we know about vertical angles?
They're the same.
They're always congruent. So 2x plus 4 equals 3x minus 3. We solve for that, subtract 2x. 4 equals x minus 3, add 3, so x equals 7. And then if x equals 7, 2 times 7 is 14 plus 4 should be 18 degrees. Number 8. So okay, that gives you all that stuff. I should get you. Okay, on this one, you know what? Number 14 and 15 are really just like. I'm not going to do those two. Let's go ahead and skip to number 16. So on number 16, what type of angles are 2 and 10? They're corresponding. Okay, what are 2 and 8? They're vertical. What is 1 and 9? Corresponding. Number 19, 1 and 16 are what?
Same side to out to
Exterior.
whatever.
There you go, same side exterior. Okay, what are 10 and 11? Same side interior. What are 8 and 9? Same side interior. And then 3 and 11? Corresponding. Okay, number 23 says angle 1 is 120 and angle 7 is 5x plus 20. So angle 1 is right here, angle 7 is right here. What type of angle are those?
Vertical.
Those are verticals. So what do I know about those?
They're the same.
They're always congruent. So I'm just going to set them equal 120 equals 5x plus 20. And I'm not going to work that out, but if you subtract 20, that gives you 100, then divide 100 by 5, it just gives you 20. Okay, then number 24 is asking about angle 4 and angle 13. So what are 4 and 13?
Same side.
Same side outerior or whatever? Okay. Now, it doesn't say it should. We need to know that these are parallel to each other. If they are parallel to each other, what do we know about those two angles?
They're the same.
They're not the same. They're what?
But they equal.
They add up to 180. They're supplementary. So it should be 70 plus 4x minus 6 equals 180. And I'm not going to work that out, but that gives you, well, I'll just write this. So 4x plus 64 equals 180. Subtract 64, that gives you 116. And then 116 divided by 4 is 29. Okay, this says draw them, but really drawing them doesn't help much because it's easy to mess this up. But what does acute mean? What does an acute triangle mean? Okay, it means all angles are acute. What does scalene mean? It means no sides are congruent. Okay? That one's kind of hard to draw, so I just want to do that. On these others, I am going to draw it. So obtuse, isosceles, bless you, is like this. Where these two sides are the same, and where this angle right here is obtuse, it's bigger than 90. Okay, equilateral, equiangular. That's where all the sides are the same length, and all the angles are the same measurement. And then isosceles right is like this, where it's a right angle, and you have two sides that are the same length. Okay, what figure would be next in this sequence? Triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon. Okay, then on number 30, if PQ is congruent to RQ, PS is congruent to RS, and that's going to be congruent to itself by the reflexive, how do I know those two triangles are congruent? by SSS. Okay, we'll stop there. We'll pick up the second half tomorrow. So, like I said, we're going to do the second half now, starting there at 31. So what I'm going to do again today is go through, get you started on a few of these, and then I'm going to let you work on it for a while. So number 1 says, what additional information is needed to prove these are congruent by angle, side, angle? So we already know that this angle is congruent to this angle, so we already have that. Already know that this side is congruent to this side, so we've already got that. So what else do we need to know? Another angle. So I need to know that this angle is congruent to this angle. So that's like angle WZX congruent to angle what? YZX. Yep. All right. That's what we need. We got it now. Okay. Hopefully that'll jog your memory to help you on the next two. Okay, let's drop down to number 40. It says the scale drawing of a porch is 4 inches wide and 9 inches long. Okay, so 4 inches wide, 9 inches long. Okay, the actual porch, so this one's bigger, is 15 feet wide, so that's got to go on the same side as the 4. Guys, need you to listen, please. And we're looking for the length of this thing. So it's a scale drawing, it's scaled, it's proportional. So how am I going to set up a proportion here to find the value of x? I'm going to say something like this. 4 is to 15 as 9 is to x. 4 is to 15 as 9 is to x. And then from there, you're going to do your cross multiplying and solving for x. Okay. Number 41, you have this 5.5 foot person that casts a 5 foot shadow. And then you have this tree that casts a 45 foot shadow when we're looking for its height. As the sun is coming down, it's going to create similar triangles. Okay, number 42, let's get this one set up. All right, so this one with x in it, 6x minus 3, this side right here, what side is that going to match up to on the smaller triangle? To TS, to this one right here, right?
Yes.
Because notice on this one, it's got 2 marks right here to 0 marks here. So I'm looking on this one, 2 marks to 0 marks, it's this one. So this matches up to this. So 6x minus 3 is to 3. Okay, and so now I want to set up the other half of this. And I don't want to include the y because then that's going to put 2 variables. I don't want that. I want 2 sides that I know that I can use here to base this off of.
4 and 2.
4 is to 2. Yep. Okay, so then from there, you're going to do like the cross multiplying thing. I'm going to let you work that one out. And while we're at, let's go ahead and set up the y. So this 3y minus 2, what side does that match up to on the other one?
QS.
Yes, this one right here. So on this one, 3y minus 2 is to 5 as 4 is to 2. And then you'll do the same thing there. Cross multiply and solve for y on that one. So back to number 32. What extra information do you need for angle side? Well, we already know that those angles are congruent, so we're already there. All right, with that. So we need another angle, another side. So I need to know, like, this angle is congruent to this angle. So angle JMK congruent to angle LMK. And if this side is congruent to itself, which we really already know that because of the reflexive. This side is congruent to itself. Bless you. Okay, number 33. How are these triangles congruent? Well, vertical angles are always congruent, so what would that be? angle, side angle on that. Angle, side angle. Okay, what's an acute triangle?
Angles 90 or less.
Okay, all angles less than 90. Okay, what's an obtuse triangle? Okay, one angle bigger than 90. What is a right triangle? One 90-degree angle. What's an equilateral? Okay, this one's talking about the sides. All sides are the same. Which equiangular follows from that. Equiangular means all the angles are the same. What's isosceles? Okay, two sides are the same. And what is scalene? Okay, no sides are the same. All right, next one says if the triangle is isosceles, so these two sides are the same length. So 4x minus 22 equals 3x plus 3. Yeah, there's a minus and a plus. That's a typo. It should just be a plus. So, all right, if you subtract 3x, x minus 22 equals 3. Add 22 to both sides, x equals 25. Okay, and on this one, to finish this up, 9 times 15 is 135. Equals 4x divided by 4. X is 33.75. All right, number 41. Okay, 5.5 is to x as 5 is to 45. So we cross multiply, we get 5x equals 247.5 divided by 5 gives you 49.5. Okay, so on 42, to finish this one up, okay, 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, 6x minus 3 times 2, we got to distribute. You got to do the 2 times both of those pieces. So what's 6x times 2? 12x, and then what's negative 3 times 2? Negative 6. We add 6 to both sides. That gives you 18 equals 12x divided by 12. 18 divided by 12 is 1.5. And this next one, when we multiply 5 times 4 is 20. 3y times 2 is 6y, and negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Add 4 to both sides. 24 equals 6y divided by 6. Y equals 4. The very back. Okay, PT is 7.5, TQ is 3, SR is 2.5, and we're looking for PS. So we're going to set up a proportion again here. So X is to 7.5 as 2.5 is to 3. And we can do that because these two lines are parallel. Okay, number 44, same thing. All these lines are parallel, so it splits this proportionally. You could do this several ways, but I'm going to do it like this. All right, 7x minus 2 is to 8 as 4x plus 3 is to 8. You're going to cross multiply and solve there. Okay, number 46. You got this closet door that is 72 by 40. And we're looking for this brace right here. So what am I going to use to find the length of that thing? Just got through doing this. Pythagorean theorem, that's right. So 40 squared plus 72 squared is going to equal the x squared. The x is the c there. That's what we're looking for. Okay, on 47, 45, 45, 90, going from here to here, we multiply by the square root of 2. Go in the opposite direction, we're going to divide by the square root of 2. All right, then on number 50, going from the hypotenuse to this leg, we divide by 2. And from here to here, we multiply by the square root of 3. Okay, that should give you a pretty good start on that, so you can go ahead and get grouped up. Get to work on these problems. Okay, on the very back. So I already showed you how to set this up. So 7.5 times 2.5 is 18.75. And then 3 times x is 3x. Divide by 3. And that should give you 6.25. Okay, so on this next one, 8 times 4x plus 3. What is 8 times 4x? 32x. What is 8 times 3? 4. Okay, now multiplying this way, what is 7x times 8? 56x, and what's 8 times negative 2? Negative 16. All right, so get our x's together, subtract 32x from both sides. This zeroes out. 24 equals 24x minus 16. Add 16 to both sides. That zeroes out. 24x equals 40. Divide by 24. And this gives you like 1.66 repeating. Okay, next one. So when we multiply stuff like this, outside numbers multiply together. Negative 3 times 5 is what? Negative 15. Then we multiply the inside numbers together. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, now 25 right here is actually a perfect square. What's the square root of 25? It's just 5, so this just ends up being negative 15 times 5, which is negative 75. All right, next one, we already got that set up. Pythagorean theorem. So 40 squared is 1600. 72 squared is 5184. Add those up. So 6784 equals x squared. Take the square root of both sides. And that gives you 82.37. All right, down here on these special rights. So this one is just 5 times the square root of 2. That's it. On this one, it's 12 divided by the square root of 2. Okay, on this one from here to here, we're going to divide by the square root of 3. So this gives you 12 over the square root of 3. And from here to here, you just double it times 2. So this is 24 over the square root of 3. On number 50, from the hypotenuse of that short leg, you just cut it in half. Divide by 2, that's 5. And this times the square root of 3, this is 5 square roots of 3. On this last one from here to here, we multiply by 2. It's 42. Go up to here, we multiply by the square root of 3. This is 21 square roots of 3. Okay. If you're exempt, all I want you to do is go ahead and turn your review in. If you're not exempt, hang on to your review and bring it for your test on Friday. Make sure you have it, though, because you're turning it in. If you don't have it or lose it, you will get a 0. So make sure you keep up with it.